everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on our crochet heart pocket pattern. It starts out as a semicircle flower pattern and folds over into a cute little heart. We stitch down the side and it creates a little pocket to put all of your treats and gifts. It's perfect for Valentine's Day or really any gift giving. What we're gonna start with is a worsted weight yarn. The one I'm using is Yarn Bee Pearl Spun yarn and a 4mm crochet hook. Okay, so to start this pattern, we are going to create a magic circle. I like to do the double loop magic circle. I'm going to post a video on the different types of magic circles and go into a little bit more detail, so you can check that out. I'll link it to this video. But we're going to start out with the double loop. It holds it a little bit tighter. It doesn't come loose as easy, so I like that a little bit better for this pattern. We'll take our yarn holding the tail end between our thumb and our index finger. We'll loop it across our 3 fingers twice. Bring it back up and put an X over the top. And hold it down with our pinky finger. Okay, we'll take our crochet hook, insert it underneath the first 2 strands that we put on our fingers. Grab that 3rd strand, bring it up through, twist it, hold it down, and bring it through once again. Okay, so that's going to create our magic circle. When working our double crochets into this magic circle, we're going to work them through both loops and the tail, weaving in the tail as we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to chain 2. This chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. Okay, so this one counts as your first one. The next one, we're going to double crochet into the magic circle, pull up a strand, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, and that's 2 double crochets. So your chain 2 counts as your first one, and your next double crochet counts as number 2. We're going to do 6 total all the way around, so 4 more. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Again, yarn over through your magic circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Okay, so far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6. Okay, we're going to pull up our loop a little bit just to keep it there, keep it from coming out. And then we're going to tighten our magic circle. To tighten the double loop magic circle, we're going to do one loop at a time. So you want to find the loop to start with. You're going to take your tail end and you're going to give it a little tug, and it'll move one of your loops. That's the loop you want to start with. One side of that loop is going to pull the tail, and it'll pull it right out. So don't use that side. One side is going to pull the other loop. That's the one you want to find and pull first. So we're going to tighten that first loop all the way. And then to tighten our second loop, we're going to take our tail end and just pull it tight and give it a little extra tug at the end just to make sure it's nice and tight. And that, if you can see, creates a very nice tight center for your work. Okay, so round 2, we're going to be working back around through the stitches we made. We're not going to continue in a circle. We're going to go back. So we're going to be turning our work, okay? And we're going to be working back through those stitches. So they're turning rows and we're not working in rounds. Move that tail all the way, okay? And we're going to be doing double crochet increases in each stitch. So to start, we're going to go ahead, try to get that again, there we go, chain 2. And that again counts as our first double crochet, that chain 2. So our next double crochet is going to go in that same stitch that the chain 2 came out of right here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do a double crochet into that same stitch. And that counts as our double crochet increase in our first stitch. Our next double crochet increase is going to go into the next one, so we'll do 2 double crochets in this next stitch here. And then we'll continue across double crochets, double crochet increase in each stitch across. Okay, and then our last set of increases that we're going to do are actually going to go into the chain 2 space from the previous row. So if you can see here from your chain, let me see if I can focus a little better. There we go. Our chain 2 space here from our previous row is where our next last set of double crochets is double crochet increase is going to go. So we're just going to go straight through that chain 2 space, pull up, and do our double crochet increase into that chain 2 space right there. Okay. And once again, we're not working in rounds, we're working in rows. So after this is going to give us 12 stitches across. To go ahead and turn our work and work back across our stitches again. We're working and turning rows, and we are going to start our row by chaining 2. Okay, and that counts as our first double crochet stitch again. So we're going to be doing across this row double crochet increase, double crochet increase, and then 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that around. So because this chain 2 counts as your first double crochet, to do your increase, you're just going to do 1 more double crochet in that same stitch that the chain 2 came out of in that first stitch right there. We're going to do 1 more. That's going to count as our double crochet increase right there. The next stitch we'll just be doing 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet increase into that next stitch. And we're just going to repeat that around. So this one will have 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and then our next one will have 1 double crochet, and we'll keep going around here. So 2 double crochets in this stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Oop, that wasn't a double crochet. Let's try that one again. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, increase here, and double crochet in the next, increase, double crochet, increase, and our last double crochet, we should be ending our round with, or I'm sorry, our row with a single double crochet. So in the last one, we'll go into the chain 2 space again from the previous row. So that little space right there where the chain 2 was, we'll put 1 last double crochet. Okay, again, we're turning our work. We're chaining 2 to start our next row. And this row we are doing 1 double crochet increase, and then 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet increase and 2 double crochets, and we're just repeating that across. So we'll do this chain 2 counts as our first double crochet, so we'll do another double crochet into that first stitch there that the chain 2 came out of, and that counts as our increase for that row. And then we're doing 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, so 1 double crochet into the next stitch there, and then another double crochet into the next stitch there, the third stitch. Okay. And we're just repeating that across. So increase, double crochet increase here, put 2 double crochets here, into that same stitch again, and then a double crochet into the next stitch, and a double crochet into the next stitch. Okay. Double crochet increase, double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, in the last set here, we're doing a double crochet increase, another double crochet, and that last double crochet again is going to be worked into that chain 2 space from the previous round. So we'll always end our set in that chain 2 space. So we'll go ahead and do a double crochet there. And turn our work. Again, we're chaining 2. That counts as our first double crochet. And this row we're doing double crochet increase and then 3 double crochets, double crochet increase and 3 double crochets. So we're going to do, that counts as our first double crochet, that chain 2. We're going to do another double crochet into that same space, and that counts as our increase, and then do 3 double crochets across the next 3 stitches. Okay. And then the next stitch is a double crochet increase. And 3 double crochets across the next 3 stitches. And we're just going to repeat that around. For anybody who's a beginner out there, one of the best ways that I found to count my stitches, if you kind of get lost, I don't know if I can show it here on my camera, but I'll give you a quick idea. I keep stopping and checking. I like to double check my stitches as I go. So if you can see here, your increases kind of look, I don't know if I can get it to focus better, but your increases kind of look like a heart right there. And your single crochets don't. So if you need to go back and see, oh, did I do the increase there? If you lose count, it's really a lot easier to see. You've got 1 double crochet or 1 double crochet increase here, and then your 3 double crochets. So it makes it a little easier to check. I like I keep stopping and checking. That's why I just like to check and make sure I'm counting right. There's nothing like losing count, getting to the end of your row and having to undo it to do it over again. It's not my favorite part. Okay, so this is our last set here. So we're doing our double crochet increase. If I can get my yarn all the way on my hook. There we go. Okay, and then 3 more double crochet. So we've got 1, the next stitch 2, and our third one is working into that chain 2 space from the previous round. And we're turning our work. Chaining 2. Now this round, we're only going to do double crochets across every stitch, doing no increases, just across every stitch. Now this first chain 2 counts as your first double crochet, so we'll be skipping that stitch and going to the next one. This one counts as your double crochet in that first stitch. So we'll be doing a double crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and then just double crocheting across. Oop, there we go. Okay, and once again, we'll be putting our last double crochet into that chain 2 space. Okay, so this is what you should look like at the end of that row, row 6. The next one we're going to turn and make our flower petals, I guess you would call them. And we're going to start by turning, it's the last of our double crochets, so we're not going to be doing any more double crochets. We're actually going to start by chaining 1 on this last row. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do an invisible decrease. So to do, sorry, let's try that one more time. I got a little twisted there. Okay. Okay, so to do our invisible decrease, we're going to start on this first stitch right here, and we're only going to go through the front loops of the first 2 stitches to do the decrease. So it's a little bit, it makes it so that you don't see the decrease as much in the finished product. So when you go through, you're going to insert your hook, and if I can show you here, you're only going to insert your hook through the front loop. Oh, that was through both. Hold on. Let me get that back through. Try that one more time. Through the front loop. There we go. And then on the second one, again, insert it only through the front loop. So let me do that one more time for you. So we're going to insert, let me see if I can get my camera to focus on it. Okay, so insert through the front loop of one and the front loop of the next. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to get that front loop if you angle your hook down, grab that loop and kind of twist it up through the front loop. But we're just going to put them through both front loops, yarn over your hook, go through both of those loops, yarn over your hook, and go through the 2 loops left on your hook. And that creates an invisible decrease. Okay, and we'll do some more invisible decreases along, so I'll be able to show you that again. But next we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and create our 8 treble crochet shell stitch. You always skip 2 stitches before the shell stitch and after the shell stitch, so we'll do that every time. So we'll go ahead and skip the next two, 1, 2, and work into this third one here. When we do a treble crochet stitch, we're going to put our yarn over our hook twice, like that. I like to hold it down with my finger. Insert our hook, again we're skipping those first two, insert a hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull it back through. Okay, now you'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over again, pull through those first 2 stitches. I'm sorry, 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through those last 2 loops, and that creates your treble crochet or your treble stitch. We'll do it 8 times into that same stitch, so I'll show you again. Yarn over twice on your hook, hold it down with your finger, insert your hook into that same stitch as the first treble crochet went into. Treble stitch went into, sorry. Yarn over, pull your yarn through, yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through those last 2 loops. Again, yarn over your hook twice, insert into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. So we've got 3. Yarn over twice, insert our hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So now we've got 4. We're going to repeat that until we have 8 treble crochets into that same stitch. So we'll need 4 more. Yarn over twice, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. And we'll keep going here. Okay, and the treble crochet stitches are pretty easy to count. We can kind of pull them apart and see them here. We can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we can double check and make sure we got 8 into that one stitch. We're going to go ahead and skip the next 2 stitches. So we'll skip 1, 2, and into the next 2 stitches, we're going to be working an invisible decrease. So we've skipped 1 and 2, and here we're going to be working another invisible decrease. So we'll go ahead and put our hook in and just go through that first front loop. Let me see if I can show you that a little bit better. So we're just going through, oops, we're just going through that first front loop there. Okay. And the next one as well, front loop only. Right there. Okay. So front loops, yarn over, pull through both loops, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook, and that creates your invisible decrease. We're going to go ahead and do our next 8 treble crochet shell stitch. So we're skipping 2, these 2 stitches here, 1 and 2, and we're working in this one here. So we'll go ahead and put our yarn over twice. Oop, if I can get it, there we go. And we're skipping 1, 2, working into this one here. And we'll do our treble crochet stitch. So let me show you that again. We got our yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. Again, yarn over your hook twice, insert your hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Okay, and we're just, that's 2 on our same stitch. We're going to do that 8 times, so that's 2. Okay, we're skipping 2 stitches. Now, after this one, this is going to be where our heart folds in half. So we're not going to do a decrease right here. We're actually just going to do 2 single crochets. So we'll skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in these next 2 stitches here, we'll work 2 single crochets. So skip 1, 2, and here, insert your hook. We'll do 1 single crochet in that stitch, and then in the next stitch, another single crochet. Okay, okay, so we're going to go ahead and skip these next 2 stitches and work our next 8 treble crochet shell stitch into this stitch here. So we're skipping 1, 2, and working it into this one here. So we'll go ahead and yarn over our hook twice, hold it down, and work it into this loop right here, this stitch right here. And we're going to do that again 8 times. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So we finish our shell stitch. So we're skipping 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and we are working an invisible decrease into these next 2 stitches. So skip 1, 2, invisible decrease here. So again, through the front loops only, front loop and front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And this is going to start our last shell stitch. Okay, so we're skipping 2 stitches, 1, 2, right there, and we're working our last shell stitch into this stitch here. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over the next 2 loops, yarn over those last 2 loops. Let's do that 7 more times. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. And that is 8. Okay, so that's our last shell stitch there. We're going to go ahead and skip the next 2 stitches. And on our last 2 stitches here, we're working an invisible decrease. Now, you should have 1 stitch left and then your chain 2 space. So it's kind of a partial invisible decrease, I would say. You're going to work into the front loop only of that stitch there and then through the chain 2 space. So again, skipping 2, we're working through the front loop only of that stitch there. Okay. And then we're just going to bring it through that chain 2 space of the previous row there and yarn over, pull through both. Yeah. And then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops there. Okay, so that finishes our semicircle heart pattern. There. So now we're just going to take our tail, pull it through. We want to leave a long enough tail to stitch down the side. So I leave about maybe about 8 inches. I like to leave a little extra just in case. And I weave through at the end, so I like to leave a little extra to weave through as well. We'll pull our yarn back through and get rid of that. Okay, so when we fold our heart in half, we have two different sides here to choose from, being the front. Every row is going to have a back side and a front side. What I found with the heart that I like best is this row here. So if you can see on my camera, this row here, this is the front side of this row of stitches here. If you turn it around, here's the back side where those stitches are horizontal. If you fold it over with that part showing, I think it just doesn't look as clean. It's not my favorite side. So I like to fold it where that row of stitches, the front side is showing. You'll see there, it just looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, so that's the side that I do. But you can do either side, whatever side you like better. So we're just going to fold it in half to where our our four shell stitches meet up. We're going to take our string here, our tail, and we're going to stitch it down the side. And I'll show you how I stitch it down the side. You also could probably just continue slip stitching down the side if you wanted to. I found when I did that, it kind of pulled this side of the heart down and made it look uneven. So I didn't like that as much. So what I found is if I stitched on the side, um, it came out a little bit cleaner. When I stitched on the side though, I like to just go through the back loops only. So if you can see here a little bit, see if I can get it better on the camera. I like to just do this side and this side together. Back loops only kind of. So when I insert my hook, I go, or I'm sorry, my needle, I'm going to go through, let's see if I can show it a little bit better, this part here, and then up through the corresponding side, back side only, and pull it tight. And I just do that all the way down. And that's given me the best heart so far. That's the best way I found it so far to work to make the heart. Okay, as we reach the bottom here, we'll go ahead and do one more stitch. There, if I can get my needle to go through, that one's tight, which is good. Okay, there we go. All right, we're through. Okay, so we've got the side of our heart stitched. Okay, so what I'll do next is I'll just go ahead and weave in both of my ends. This is my tail from my magic circle. So we'll just go ahead and do a little weaving of both of our ends. And when I weave, I just like to go through those stitches closest to it and then up and back through just to kind of match the pattern. So I don't have yarn going different directions than it was when I stitched it. Just back through, and that usually holds it pretty good. I'll go ahead and chop off that one there, and then we'll weave through the tail. I was recently introduced to the Susan Bates finishing needles. I haven't tried them yet. If anybody has, I would love to hear what your experience was with them, whether you liked them, whether you didn't. Leave it in the comments and let us know what you thought. They're pretty neat looking. I like the idea behind them, but I haven't tried them yet. So let me know what you think about those. Go ahead and weave that back through. There we go. It's giving me a little trouble there. Okay, we'll cut it off. And we have our pocket heart. Okay, right there. So our top opens. You can put all of your goodies and candies inside, presents. It's perfect for Valentine's Day cards, whatever you need it for. It's about 3.5 inches by 3 using that yarn. Definitely play around with different sizes, different size yarns, different crochet hooks, uh, sizes to see what you get. Let me know um, what you think, and definitely if you make this design, tag us on Instagram at my.rosemarie. I'd love to see what you create. And if you like this video, we'll be posting more content in the future. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you.